Hello everyone, I am Pratap here. Today is 25th February 2025. In this video, I am going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. Some of you might be knowing the cost of the training is over 8,000 US dollars, but we are providing complete free training and all the training lessons are available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. At our channel homepage, click on the tab Posts. Some of you might be seeing the tab Community. Click on the Community tab. You get access to this post. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course. I kept all the training lessons in this playlist. You need to start your training from lesson 1.1 that is available at the bottom of the page. So scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one according to my training instructions provided at our Telegram channel. I provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. So join at our Telegram channel. At the top of the Telegram channel window, you can find pinned messages. If you click the pinned messages, you can find training instructions. Learn this course according to my training instructions. Definitely you will become a very good independent trader in the coming months. Now let's get into the report generation with the help of NeoStock Software Supply Demand Zone Top-Down Analysis Strategy Builder. First, I am generating stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. During this process, we will also generate price closed inside demand and supply zones for daily and above higher time frames. So starting with yearly time frame, price closed inside the yearly demand zone, we got 5 stocks. I am giving you only few seconds time to watch the report, so I request you pause the video, study this report and then proceed to the next reports. In case if you don't understand the structure of this report, I request you complete our training lesson 21.1, that is part 1 of lesson 21. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, next report. Yearly time frame. Price closed inside the yearly supply zone. We don't have any stocks. Next time frame is half yearly. Stocks near half yearly demand zone. We got 4 stocks. Next, half yearly time frame, stocks near half yearly supply zone, no stocks are available. Half yearly time frame, price closed inside the half yearly demand zone, we got 6 stocks. Next, half yearly time frame, price closed inside the half yearly supply zone, we got 3 stocks. Next time frame is a quarterly, stocks near quarterly demand zone. We got 8 stocks. Next quarterly time frame, stocks near quarterly supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Next quarterly time frame, price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. We got 45 stocks. So first 22 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 45 stocks. But this is a big list. So we can further filter this list by setting some high probability parameters to get the success. So the parameter I am going to add for all these 45 stocks is EMA Confluence. Let us further filter based on EMA Confluence. that is quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. So I'm going back here in the EMA confluence at quarterly time frame. I am setting the filter. Quarterly demand zone is having quarterly EMA confluence or not. And also trend on the quarterly should not be sideways, because you already learned EMA confluence does not give any advantage in the sideways trend. That's why we are checking the remaining up or down trends. With these parameters, now the list is come down to 26. All these 26 quarterly demand zones are having quarterly EMA confluence. Okay, next quarterly time frame. Price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Let's check how many of these quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA confluence. In the EMA confluence, quarterly checking, quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA confluence or not, and also trend on the quarterly should be either up or down. With these filters, out of 4 we got 3 stocks. These 3 quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA confluence. So this is about quarterly time frame. Next time frame is a monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone. We got 12 stocks. Next, monthly time frame, stocks near monthly supply zone. We got 1 stock. Next, monthly time frame, price closed inside the monthly demand zone. We got 58 stocks. First 20 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. Okay, we can further filter this list by setting the EMA confluence parameter on the quarterly demand zone. So let's add that filter. In the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, I am setting the filter monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence or not. And trend on the monthly should not be sideways, so it can be up or down. With these filters, now the list is come down to 25 stocks. So first 21 stocks in the list, all these stocks are monthly demand zones having monthly EMA confluence. Let me scroll the list down. So total 25 stocks are filtered. Okay, next, monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly supply zone. We got 7 stocks. Out of these 7, how many monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA confluence? Let's verify. I'm going back in the EMA confluence at monthly time frame. I am checking monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence or not. And trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. So with these filters, we got 2 stocks. So these 2 monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA confluence. So this is about monthly time frame. So next time frame is a weekly. Stocks near weekly demand zone. We got 22 stocks. First 16 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 22 stocks are filtered. Okay, next, weekly time frame. Stocks near weekly supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Next, weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly demand zone. We got 6 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. Let me quickly scroll the list down, then I will further filter with EMA Confluence. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 76 stocks are filtered. Out of these 76, how many of these weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA Confluence? Let's filter. In the EMA Confluence at weekly time frame, I am setting the filter. Weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence. Trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, see, now the list is from 76, the list is come down to 14 stocks. These 14 weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. Okay, this is about weekly demand zone, price closed inside weekly demand zone, and also having weekly EMA Confluence for the weekly demand zones. So next, weekly time frame, price closed inside the weekly supply zone. We got 10 stocks. Out of these 10, how many weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence? Let's verify. The EMA Confluence, weekly time frame, I'm checking. Weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence or not. Trend on the weekly should be either up or down. With these filters, we got 5 stocks. These 5 weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. So this is about weekly time frame. Next time frame is a daily. Entry time frame daily. Let us find the stocks near daily demand zone. We got 19 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. Hindustan Petroleum is having a high liquidity daily demand zone. L&T Technology Services LTTS is having a high liquidity daily demand zone. NCC is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. Sun Pharma is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. Tata Motors is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. So total 5 stocks are filtered. But Tata Motors is a 2023 stock. So you won't be having fine-tuned 5-minute zone in trading view. Okay, this is about high liquidity demand zones. Next, for daily time frame, let us find the stocks near daily supply zone. We got 11 stocks. Out of these 11, how many daily high liquidity supply zones are available? Let us identify. Jubilant Food is a PR zone you can't use for HLQ zone strategy. And Manapuram is having a high liquidity daily supply zone. Page Industries is having a daily high liquidity supply zone. That's it. We identified 2 daily high liquidity supply zones from this list. Okay, next, daily time frame, price closed inside the daily demand zone. We got 81 stocks. Let me quickly scroll the list down. After that, we will further filter with daily EMA Confluence. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 81 stocks. We can further filter this list by setting daily EMA Confluence with the daily demand zone. So in the EMA Confluence, at daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily demand zone having daily EMA Confluence. Trend on the daily time frame should be up or down. It should not be sideways. See, from 81, the list is come down to only 13 stocks. Only these 13 daily demand zones are having daily EMA Confluence, and also current price closed inside the daily demand zone. Okay, next, daily time frame, price closed inside the daily supply zone. We got 14 stocks. Out of these 14, how many daily supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence? Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence. And trend on the daily should not be sideways. It can be up or down. So out of 14, 7 stocks are filtered. All these daily supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence. So this is about daily time frame. Next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. We got 24 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 24 stocks are filtered. Okay, next 125 minutes time frame, stocks near 125 minutes supply zone. We got only 3 stocks. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. We got 15 stocks. Out of these 15, how many are having high liquidity zones? Let us identify. 75 minutes high liquidity demand zones. Hindustan Copper is having a high liquidity zone, 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. PI Industries is having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. Policy Bazaar is having a high liquidity 75 minutes demand zone. Poonawalla is having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. You can't use Sriram Cements, it is a pierced zone. So total we identified 4 high liquidity 75 minutes valid demand zones from this list. Okay. Next, for 75 minutes time frame, let us find the stocks near 75 minutes supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Let us check any high liquidity supply zones here. No, we don't have any 75 minutes high liquidity supply zones from this list. So with this we have identified daily and 75 minutes high liquidity zones. Okay, next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. We got 14 stocks. Next 25 minutes time frame. Stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. We got 11 stocks. Out of these 11, how many are having ITF demand zone confluence? Let us verify. That is 15 minutes with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, we got 9 stocks. These 9 demand zones are having ITF confluence, but some of these demand zones are pierced demand zones. They are not valid. The demand zones you have to see. 3 zones are not valid. Okay, next 15 minutes time frame. Stocks near 15 minutes supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Out of these 4, how many are having ITF supply zone Confluence? Let us verify. That is 15-minute supply zone with 75-minute supply zone Confluence. With this filter, out of 4, we got 1 stock. So this 15-minute supply zone is overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. So this is about 15 minutes time frame. Next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Out of these 7, how many of these 5 minutes demand zones are having ITF demand zone Confluence? Let's verify. That is 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone Confluence. With this filter, we got 6 stocks out of 7. All these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. Okay, next 5 minutes time frame, stocks near 5 minutes supply zone. We got 7 stocks. Out of these 7, how many supply zones are having ITF supply zone Confluence? Let's verify. That is 5 minutes supply zone with 15 minutes supply zone Confluence. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. So these 2 5-minute supply zones are overlapped with 15-minute supply zone. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. So next report is about NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Let me start with NIFTY. So Nifty 50. Generating from monthly time frame, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. So this is a Nifty 50 monthly supply demand zone chain. Always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. And always look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. And apply the same rules for the remaining supply demand zone chain reports. Okay, next, weekly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 125-minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 75-minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. 17th is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price, the 75 minutes demand zone. Next, 25-minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. $23 is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Let me put it in the center. Okay. Next, 15-minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. All these are all supply zones. I am scrolling the list down. 38 is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Let me put it in the center. Okay. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. All these are all supply zones. I am scrolling the list down. So 66 is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Let me adjust in the center so that you can get equal number of demand and supply zones. Okay. So this is about Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next we will look into Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. That is nothing but Nifty Bank. So generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 125-minute supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 75-minute supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. 15th is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Next, 25-minute supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Nineteenth is the nearest demand zone for the current closing price. Next, 15-minute supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Twenty-fourth is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Let me put it in the center. Next, 5-minute supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. All these are all supply zones. Scrolling the list here, 33 is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Let me put it in the center. So this is the 5-minute supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. With this we have completed Nifty and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next we will generate bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly, daily and hourly income trades. Let me start with monthly income trade bullish trade setup. Entry time frame daily, entry zone demand zone, bullish or bearish trade setup at daily I am selecting bullish. And zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhances score 12. With these filters, we got 6 stocks. Currently, these 6 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. And entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. Out of these 6, some high probability daily demand zones we will identify based on the zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is a daily and weekly demand zone confluence. So I am enabling the filter. With this filter we got 5 stocks. In all these 5 stocks, these are daily demand zones, entry time frame demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone, and weekly trend is up in all these stocks, ITF trend. So that's why we will set EMA confluence on weekly time frame. So weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. With this filter we got 2 stocks. So these 2 are more high probability trade setup supported zones. These are daily demand zones, because the daily zone is overlapped with weekly zone and that weekly zone is having weekly EMA confluence. Next, similarly we will look into LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. Removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, daily with weekly. Next, daily demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence, and then weekly demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. With all the three filters, we got only one stock. In this stock, this daily demand zone overlapped with weekly demand zone, both together overlapped with monthly demand zone, and monthly trend is uptrend. If this stock is having monthly demand zone with monthly EMA confluence, then it is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, monthly time frame, I am setting monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence filter. The stock is filtered. So it's even, so it is just tested. I think maybe today or yesterday it is tested and moving towards the all-time high. So this is about bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame is daily, entry zone, supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at daily, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhance score 12. With these filters, we got 4 stocks. These 4 stocks are currently supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame zones are daily supply zones. All these are all daily supply zones. Out of these 4 daily supply zones, how many are having ITF supply zone confluence? Let us verify. That is a daily with weekly supply zone confluence. Sorry, this is demand zone. Yeah, here daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. I enable the filter. With this filter, out of 4 stocks, we got all 4. That means in all these 4, these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is down in all these stocks, ITF. Let's verify if weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. Weekly supply zone with weekly EMA. We got all the 4 stocks. That means all these 4 are high probability trade setup supported stocks. Next, we will look at the same stocks from LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence point of view. Removing weekly EMA confluence. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter already enabled, daily with weekly. Next, daily supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. And then weekly supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, the daily supply zone overlapped with weekly, both together overlapped with monthly supply zone. But monthly trend is down, only 1 stock. If this stock is having monthly EMA confluence, then it is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at monthly, I am setting the filter monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence. Trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. Now that 1 stock is filtered, so it is even more high probability trade setup supported stock based on LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence and HTF EMA confluence. So this is bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone, demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup, at 75 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhance score 12. And pierced count 75 minutes supply zone. Excuse me. 75 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So with all the 3 filters, we got 4 stocks. These 4 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Out of these 4, any high probability setup supported zones, let us identify. First filter LTF, ITF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. LTF, ITF, demand zone, not supply zone, demand zone confluence. Because we selected entry zone as a bullish. We got 3 stocks out of 4. In these 3 stocks, ITF trend is uptrend. So we will check. Daily is part of 75-minute zone is part of daily. If any of these daily demand zone are having daily EMA confluence, let's verify. So daily demand zone with daily EMA confluence. So we got one stock. This is even more high probability trade setup supported zone. This is based on LTF, ITF and ITF EMA confluence. Next we will look into LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. Removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, first filter is already enabled. Sorry, this is the one. Next 75 with weekly demand zone confluence. Daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the three filters, we got two stocks. In these two stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones overlapped with daily, both together overlapped with weekly. And weekly trend is up in only one stock. If this is having weekly EMA, probably this could be even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Let's verify. In the weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. Trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because bullish trade setup. So none of the stocks are having weekly EMA confluence. This is bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement VOZ. Minimum order enhancer score 12. And pierced zone at 75 minutes time frame. Minimum value 0. Maximum value 0. That means zone is not pierced. With these filters we got 18 stocks. Scrolling the list down. So total 18 stocks. All these 18 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Out of these 18, how many of these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone? Let us verify. That is LTF, ITF supply zone confluence. That is nothing but 75 with daily supply zone confluence. We got 12 stocks are filtered. In these 12 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zones. And daily trend is down in all these stocks, ITF trend. If daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence, then those stocks are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, because 75 minute supply zone is overlapped with daily supply zone. That's why we are looking for daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence or not. Anyway, trend is downtrend in all these stocks. So we got 10 stocks. So these 10 stocks are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, 75 with daily. Next 75 minute supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. Daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 5 stocks. In these 5 stocks, these daily 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone, both together overlapped with weekly supply zone. And a weekly trend is down in 4 stocks, last 4 stocks. If any of those 4 stocks are having weekly EMA confluence, then they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence weekly time frame, I am setting weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. Trend on the weekly should not be sideways, it should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So we got 3 stocks. These 3 are having even more high probability to get the success. So this is bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes. Entry zone, demand zone. Bullish or bearish at 15 minutes. I am selecting bullish. Zone achievement VOZ. Minimum order enhancer score 12. and in the pierced count 15 minutes time frame, I'm setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got two stocks. So these two stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade, and these entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. Out of these two, how many are having ITF zone confluence? Let us verify. That is 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. So both are filtered. That means both these 15 minutes demand zones overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone, and 75 minutes trend is up. If 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence or not, let us verify. At 75 minutes, I am checking 75 minutes demand zone with daily EMA confluence. So none of the stocks are having EMA confluence. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. So in the demand zone confluence, we have to set three filters. First filter is already enabled. Next, 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. With all the three filters, we got both the stocks. So that means in both these stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily trend is up. If daily demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, then these 15 minutes demand zones are having more probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, a daily time frame, I am setting daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. Anyway, trend is uptrend. We got one stock. So this demand zone is having more high probability to get the success. So this is bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone, supply zone. Bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement VOZ. Minimum order enhance score 12. And 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 7 stocks. These 7 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade, and all these entry time frame zones are 15 minute supply zones. Out of these 15 minute supply zones, we need to find how many are having more probability, high probability to get success. So first filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. Let us apply this filter on those 7 stocks. We got 3 stocks. So in these 3 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. And 75 minutes trend is a downtrend. If any of these 3 stocks are having 75 minute supply zone with daily EMA confluence, then those stocks are even more high probability to get the success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, 75 minutes time frame, checking 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. So none of those stocks are having daily EMA confluence. Okay, fine. Next, let us look into LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing this EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, 15 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we did not get any stocks. But means we don't have any high probability trade setup stocks to get success in daily income trade. Okay, next we will look into hourly income trade, bullish trade setup, entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone, demand zone in bullish or bearish at 5 minutes. I am selecting bullish. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum order enhance score 12, and pierced count at 5 minutes time frame. I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 6 stocks. These 6 stocks are bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. And entry time frame zones are 5 minutes demand zones. All these are all 5 minutes demand zone. Out of these 6 5 minutes demand zone, how many are having ITF demand zone Confluence? Let us verify. That is 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone Confluence. Enable the filter. With this filter, we got 6 stocks, all 6 stocks. That means in all these 6 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. And 15 minutes trend, ITF trend is up. If any of these 15 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA Confluence, that zone might be having more higher probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence 15 minutes time frame, I am checking 15 minutes demand zone having daily EMA Confluence. So one stock is filtered. So this 5 minutes demand zone is having high probability to get success. Next we will look into LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone Confluence. I am removing EMA filter. In the demand zone Confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter already enabled. Second filter 5 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone Confluence. 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone Confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 4 stocks. In these 4 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with the 15 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend, HTF trend is up in only 2 stocks. If first 2 stocks are having 75 minutes demand zone with daily EMA Confluence, those stocks might be having more success, more probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence, 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA Confluence or not, we are checking. At the same time, trend on the 75 minutes time frame should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So none of those stocks are having daily EMA Confluence. Fine. This is bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone, supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 5 minutes, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhances score 12. And in the pierced count at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means 5 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So with these filters, we got 18 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. Nifty Bank is also here. Nifty Financial Services is also here. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. Total 18 stocks are filtered. Let us identify high probability zones to get success from these 18. First filter is LTF, ITF, supply zone Confluence. That is 5 minutes and 15 minutes supply zone Confluence. So with this filter, we got 11 stocks. In all these 11 stocks, these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. And 15 minutes trend, ITF trend is down in all these stocks. If any of these 15 minute supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence, we may get more success for those zones. Let's verify. EMA Confluence, 15 minutes time frame. I'm checking 15 minute supply zone having daily EMA Confluence. So none of those 15 minute supply zones are having EMA Confluence. Fine. Next we will look into LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone Confluence. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone Confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter 5 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone Confluence. Third filter 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone Confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 5 stocks. In these 5 stocks, these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with daily supply zone. 75 minute supply zone. 5 minutes with 15 minute supply zone. These are the 5 minute supply zones overlapped with 15 minutes. Both together overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. 75 minutes trend, that is HTF trend, is down in first two stocks. If any of those two stocks are having daily EMA confluence, then those supply zones are having even more higher probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter. 75 minutes supply zone having daily EMA confluence, and trend on the 75 minutes should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So with this filter, we did not get any stocks. So none of the zones are having EMA confluence. So this is about hourly income trade, bearish trade setup. And in the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. I am scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, pause the video. After that, you can proceed further. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.